Hey guys, Greg Benz here. In this video, you'll learn how to run or install any freestanding scripts I may provide, such as my new web sharpening script. If I release other things like it in the future, they'll follow the same format, so this video will apply to anything I do like this down the road. You'll have a zip file that you've downloaded. Just simply unzip it in the normal way that you would, and once you do, you see several different files inside of it. The key one is going to be one that ends with .jsx or .jsxbin. Those are the two different possible script types you can run for Photoshop. So it'll be one of those. In addition, we have these script license terms. Make sure that you open that and read that before you actually install or use the software. I'll have a written guide that goes along with this video in terms of how to install. So it's just the written documentation of this video. Of course, this video will be in those files as well once I'm done recording it. And then lastly, I'll include some documentation on how to use the script itself once you've begun to run it or you've installed it. So to run or install this, we do not double click this file. We actually need to go through Photoshop to execute it, or we can move it into a place where Photoshop looks for scripts and then it'll show up as a menu command. And that's what we're going to do here, is to install it so that it shows up in the Photoshop menus. So don't double click it. Instead, go into Photoshop, go to File, Scripts, Browse. That's the way you would run any file anywhere on your computer. And obviously going File, Scripts, Browse every time you want to run the script is a bit cumbersome. That's why we're going to install it so it shows up as a regular menu option and you can assign a keyboard shortcut to it. So click on this and then navigate to the folder where we've unzipped the files. I've already done it once, so it's pointing in the right location, but just navigate to the folder we've unzipped it. If you don't see your file and you're on CS6, make sure at the bottom there'll be a little drop down where you can choose JSX, JSXbin, or kind of everything. Make sure that it's filtering to show you all the files, and that way you'll see your JSX or JSXbin file. Once you have that, click on it, and then just simply choose Open. And when you do that, it runs the script. And you can see right now we already have the web sharpening interface for this script, so we can begin sharpening this image and just use it on its own. We don't have to install it. However, it's going to be a lot more convenient if we do install it. So I'm going to click on the Install button, which will only show up if you haven't already installed the script. So once I click that, you get this little pop-up which tells you what to do, but basically you need to copy the JSX file from the source folder to the destination. This is the place where Photoshop looks for scripts, and the script will do this for you on its own, but because permissions are required, it can't. So you need to manually do this. So click on Show Source Folder, and you can see here's our file. We need to move this to the proper location. Go back, click on Show Destination Folder, and here you can see that the Photoshop folder has a preset subfolder, which is a script subfolder, and inside of it, it's full of a bunch of these JSX files. In fact, these are ones that just come with Photoshop, and this is where it's going to look for scripts. So we need to simply move this file from here over here. If you like and you want to stay more organized, you can put it in a subfolder. As long as it's somewhere underneath scripts, it's okay. So I'm going to right click, choose New Folder. I'll have to punch in my password for permissions. And then I'm just simply going to call this Greg Benz. You can call it whatever you want, but this is one clean place that I can put all of my personal scripts separate from the Adobe scripts, which is handy because when I upgrade to Photoshop 2021 or 22 or whatever down the road, I can quickly and easily grab just the scripts I want to move forward from this version to the next version, because each of these script folders is specific to 1 year of Photoshop or CS6 or CS5 or whatever you're running. So once you have your target folder open, just click, drag over, and drop the file to copy it over. And that's the whole installation process. Just putting it somewhere underneath this scripts folder is going to make this now visible to Photoshop. And the place we're going to look for it is, well, I'll hit done because I don't need this anymore. I'm going to cancel because I don't need that anymore, but I would look under the filter menu, and it's not showing up yet because we have to restart Photoshop. It only shows scripts when it first runs Photoshop. So I'm going to go and quit Photoshop, and we'll come back in just a second here. And once you've reopened Photoshop, if you look under the filter menu, we now see that the script is showing up as a new option. It's grayed out because there are no open files, so I can simply open up my image, and then once I've done that, I could click on Filter and go right to the script and click on it and begin using it. Notice again that the Install button goes away once you've installed it, so it's ready for normal use. Now, if you just want to go up to Filter and run it every single time that way, that's fine. But notice that you can assign a keyboard shortcut to it as well. Now that it's a menu item, you can put a shortcut. And I've used Option Shift Command S, which is normally the shortcut for the Save for Web option in Photoshop. So to do something like that, go up to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, and just navigate to it. So we're going to go down to the Filter menu, and it's going to be right down at the bottom of it. And we'll see the Web Sharpen script. And you can click on whatever you want here. So I might do Command Shift D or whatever we want to use. And if there's a conflict, it's going to tell you what it is, and you can choose to accept, view the conflict, whatever you want to do. But I want to go with Shift Option Command S. That's the one I prefer, and I've already set it. So there's no conflict, but if there is, just click Accept and then hit OK. And now it's a menu option. And anytime I want to run it now, I just hold down Command Option Shift S, and it runs the script for me. Very, very convenient way to do things.